Hi YouTube, today's video is on the newly released Delightful in Damier Azur. The release date was March the 27th, originally scheduled for April 1st. They moved it up, not sure why. This was released on Friday the 27th. So it's not going to be a review of the Delightful because the function hasn't really changed. It's just several things have changed on the Delightful in terms of how they made it. So more of a comparison between the new model and the old model. One of the things you'll notice right off is the colored interior. On the 27th they released the Damier Azur Delightful and also Damier Ebene Delightful. The Damier Azur has this pink lining. The Damier Ebene was released with red lining? Yeah, red lining. The Monogram came out with the regular tan lining, but also a granate, a raspberry colored lining. So the changes were the lining, but you can still get the Monogram with the tan interior. So let me show you the close-ups of the difference between the old model and the new model. Side by side, the one on the left is the Monogram Delightful. This one is 5 years old. The one on the right is the newly released Damier Azur Delightful. They're both size MM. The official measurements from Louis Vuitton are length 16.5 by height is 13 inches. The depth is 5.9. And measuring them, they're basically the same. Now, a lot of people have commented that the new Delightful is smaller. It is in one particular area, but overall the dimensions are exactly the same, and I'll show you that when I put them on top of each other. You can see where they are a little bit different. Let me turn them to the side. This is Damier Azur right in front of the Monogram, the old style Monogram. You can see, let me line these up, pretty much the same on the top. Where the difference is more down at the bottom, as you can see down here. If you line it up on one side, there is a bit of a difference here because this one has more of a, the Damier Azur has more of a rectangular shape, and this one has a little bit, goes out and then back in. So that's where your difference is right there. From the side, you can see that they changed the Vaqueta trim here, made it more of a triangular shape versus a rounded shape, half moon shape. Again, they're basically the same in depth. They also changed the attachment of the handles here. Let me look at the bottoms. The bottom of the bags, you can see on the Monogram canvas is two pieces sewn together, whereas on the Azur it's one piece across the bottom. Here's the handles. They changed Louis Vuitton going all the way across to just Louis Vuitton Paris. The width of the strap is the same. Comparison of the thickness of the strap. Damier Azur on the left. The sides, now I've flipped them now. You can tell which one's a Monogram from the deeper patina. So this got a little bit bigger. The button attachment is a little bit different. So they're both button attachments. This one's a little bit smaller, but you can see on the back of the Monogram it's a screw attachment, whereas on the back of the Azur it's another button. Another thing that's different is the rings. This one's a solid ring all the way through, so it rotates freely. This one is attached. So in other words, it can't rotate. This ring also feels not as substantial as this ring. This ring feels like a solid ring. This one feels like it might be hollow inside. It doesn't feel as substantial. It doesn't feel like it's a solid ring. And inside the strap, it's definitely not all the way through metal. The other thing that you'll notice is here it's open, and here there's a stitch that holds the leather tight. Now that's the only thing, that's one of the things that concerns me, is that would be one of the susceptible places that would come loose, because it's just two stitches that come around. The width of the strap at the handles or at the rings is also narrower. And notice it's thinner here than it is on the old style Delightful. More hardware differences. This is the zipper pull. Look at how much smaller the Azur is compared to the Monogram, the old style Monogram. A lot thinner, a lot smaller. The D-ring is also thinner and smaller. Not sure if you'll be able to see this one, we'll see. The Azur is thinner D-ring than the Monogram, the old style Monogram. The interior is also changed. The lining of the old style Monogram, you'll notice the quatrefoils and flowers. Whereas in the new one, it's just stripes. No quatrefoils, no flowers. This is pink with a kind of like purple stripe. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but this is kind of like a bubblegum pink. It's one of the things that I'm not really a fan of. It's not a very sophisticated pink in this bag, considering what they're charging. There's the made-in stamp. The pocket is also different in the new model Damier Azur. The height is deeper in the new model. It's 9 1/4, whereas in the old model it was only 8 inches in height. However, the width of the pocket is narrower. The old model, the width of the pocket was 8 inches. Now it's 6 3/4. So you can see the hand moving behind the canvas. That's how thin the canvas is. As opposed to, you can't see, other than where I'm poking the canvas, you can't see through the canvas of the old style Delightful. Usual items in the Monogram, the old style Delightful, you can see lots of room. I'll also show you inside the Azur. In the Damier Azur, still lots of room. You can fit a full-size zippy wallet in here standing up, whereas you could not in the old style Delightful. You can also fit an iPad mini with ease in this pocket standing up, or you could turn it to the side. Either way, same with the zippy. You do have to turn the zippy to get it in. Either you stand it up like this, or you turn it like that to get it in. But either way, a full-size zippy will fit in that pocket. Mod shots, I'm 5'4". The new model Delightful and the old model. So that's the comparison of the new Delightful Damier Azur bag. I wasn't sure when I bought this. I brought it home and I had to think about it because there were so many issues that I, had to consider. Like I say, I'm not a big fan of this particular pink. I do love pink, but this is more of a bubblegum pink. It's more juvenile, not quite what you would think would go with a bag at this price. The canvas being thin is not a new issue on Damier Azur, at least for me. I had a Damier Azur Speedy that had the same issues. I ended up selling it because the canvas was just so thin and the handles were so thin that every time I picked it up I could tell the difference. This is a very lightweight bag. The weight of both bags is equivalent, so no real change there. The hardware is not as substantial on the new model as on the old model in terms of thickness, and like I say, I'm not quite sure on these rings. We'll see. The point I'm concerned about are these stitches right here, which I'm afraid that's the weakest point, that this could come loose and then that would have to go back in, but we'll see. Overall, considering all the not positive things, I have decided to keep the bag because I do like a Damier Azur bag. I do like a hobo style, and overall I do like the look of this bag. I don't mind the pink. I wish it were a little bit different, but it's not enough to make me send it back. We'll see how it holds up over time. I'm not sure this is a 20-year bag as compared to my Monogram. I would not personally sell my Monogram to buy the new model. In my opinion, the old model is better quality than the new model, but that's a personal preference. They have added this little bag charm, but this bag is 5 years old. This bag is half the price, or was half the price of the current model, so there's a huge difference in price over the last few years. So I will be keeping this bag. I'm probably going to wrap this handle in a twilly. I'm personally not a fan of patina against Damier Azur. That's just a personal preference. I don't mind it against Monogram, but I think it just makes the canvas not look as clean when there's a dark patina. So I will be wrapping this in a twilly or a bandeau, I'm not sure which. I'm not sure about color transfer from the lining of this bag. We'll see. I don't own any Damier Azur pieces, but with the exception of the Neverfull, but I do want to add some Damier Azur pieces. I'm really looking forward to using this canvas during the summer. Now I do have a custom liner that I had made for my ECAT Neverfull, this one. Custom Creations by Brna on Facebook. I'll put her link below and I'll show you what it looks like. It fits in this as well, so you can see. So that would protect any light colored items I may have. If you like that look, it also kind of gives it a little more structure. I personally prefer it when it slouches, but I'll have to try and see how that works in this bag, if it, if it looks okay, or does it make it look too structured. LV also released Damier Ebene the same day with the red interior lining, beautiful hobo. They already have problems with the Damier Ebene, so I don't buy new release Damier Ebene bags anymore until they've been out for at least 6 months. They've consistently had issues with new releases for Damier Ebene. If you look on TPF, there is someone who has pictures posted, at least as of today they did, where the lining is already pitted and wrinkled, which you would expect. Same thing that you have on the Neverfull. It's the same issue on the hobo, probably be even more, because like you see it slouches quite a bit, even more so than the Neverfull does, so you can expect that. So those are my thoughts on the Delightful. Hi guys, quick note. Damier Azur Delightful allegedly will only be released for 6 months. Now it's sort of unclear whether they mean the Damier Azur with this particular color lining will only be available for 6 months, or the Damier Azur Delightful in total will only be available for 6 months. But in case that influences your buying preferences, can take those into consideration. I will be keeping the bag. I do like it. I love the Azur canvas. I need something new in my closet with this lighter color for the summer, and I'll keep you updated on how it wears. So hope that's helpful. Thanks. Have a great week. Subscribe, thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, same name as this channel.